say number 1 when I was here so wukunu terminal ailment no kunu but your terminal ailment no wo kwa wa no wo onua terminal wo kwa wa jokwa na wo sayare na say aduane bi na ma ne nyae onua ma chi o wo so na wo se se wo na wo no aduane onua eti maami kurani wo kwa wa jonkuma no wo sayare no sam koye interview biom
Siutas ewuade nyo bi na akument
anase wo ware ni wiye ye no ena mo mienu ma kwantu onu mu no onya asa yare no me busaw onua beneti wei menya carpenter wukuru ye minister menya minister menya central ni me busa kosa ti me busa wasem onua ena John Kuma eye me tax na editua nka onua Ghana for tax na editua nka ye dwene mu ena wo wudibi onua ma chi o eti man ye me na me fidi wu chop money na wukunu yi do tax wo mu wasa na editua nka ti me busa wo wukunu terminal ailment terminal illness terminal disease and a kuno wani pacho wo ware no no wasa yare no ana woni hubi
na mentia say na medin ho I don't take madness
that wo ware John Kuma onui no wasa terminal ailment na onua ma chi o eye den no nyaaye wo na obetimi a kire Ghana fo because wo na wo se sa wo ne tetem bia ba bi obekọ bia aka ho enso tamale ni Kumase ne okan koi na woni hobi ageta.
This morning I listened to Sam George again on the exemptions about churches using the code and MMDAs who use the merchant code. They are going to be exempted from the e-levy. He still insists that if he uses his church code today, and he pays 1,000 cedis, he's going to lose 15 Ghana cedis. Which is
Have you given churches a code?
Yes. Well, some churches have registered for merchant codes. For instance, Perez, where he worships, and we can show it.
Say number 1. What I was here. So who terminal ailment no kunu. But your terminal ailment no. Wo kwa wa no onua terminal wo kwa wa joke na wo say na say aduane bi na ma ne nyae. Onua ma chi o. Wo so na wo se wo na wo no na aduane. Onua eti maami kurani wo kwa wa jonkuma no wo say yare no. Sam koye interview biom. Tiutas e wi ade nyo bi na comment. Ana se wo ware ni wie ye no. Ena mu mienu ma kwantu onu mu no onya asa yare no. Me busaw. Onua Beniti way menya carpenter. Who could you minister? Me central ni me busa kosa. Ti me busa wasem. Onua ena John Kuma eye me tax na editua nka. Onua Ghana for tax na editua nka. Ye dwene mu ena wo wudi bi. Onua ma chi o. Eti man ye me na me feedi wu. Chop money na wo kunu yi no. Tax wo mu. Wasa na editua nka. Timebusao, whistle terminal ailment, terminal illness, terminal disease, and a kuno. Wani. Pacho, who want to know what's higher? And I wouldn't movie. And then I mentioned, and I do don't take short, take madness. That we won't want John Kuma only no was a terminal ailment. Na Yamachio, and then no nyaye. When I bet me actually Ghana for. I just because when I was here, someone in the Titambia, baby, or could be account, and so Tamale Kumase, no, can't quit now when you hobby. I just
Thank you very much. Sorry about the late start of the program again, but I mean, I don't know what to say about some of these things. I just don't know what to say about some of these things. But we'll delve into it. Tonight, we have 2 important interviews coming up. Minister for Agriculture, Food and Agriculture, the Honorable Brian Achampong, Member of Parliament, is here to share with us his views about Planting for Food and Jobs Part 2 as he begins to engineer the agri process and to take it further, hoping that it will aid the MPP in its electoral fortunes in 2024's elections. Brian Achampong will join us at about 9:40. Let's go to the touch screen and let me show you share with you what we're going to do tonight, and then we'll take a short break and we come back to the studio. Our big story tonight is the John Kuma story. So, what can I say? It's right in red, producer. Good evening. Oh, it's right in red and black. Good evening, all viewers. Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, viewers. So, our first item today, what's the time now? It's 9, the clock says 9:30, is it 9:30 saying? 9:27. So, we're going to take a short break. So we come back at say 9:35. So at 9:35, we're going to do the John Kuma story, Honorable John Kuma story. And it's unfortunate that we have to be talking about John Kuma again instead of allowing the family to mourn. Okay, I'm being asked to turn the pen. Is it here? This way? Okay, yes, I get it. All right, so then let me clean this one. Let me clean this. We would have liked to talk about John Kuma. We don't want to remember John Kuma this way. Not because we don't want to remember him, because for the life he led, we can never forget about him. But we don't want to talk about him with such controversy, some of it outright lies, some of it, total fabrications. Good evening, viewers, V for the viewers. And tonight, so let's get on with it. So at 9:40, I believe, maybe 9:37, 9:37, we will do the John Kuma, John, isn't it? Oh, clean it. John. We'll do the John Kuma story. And what is in the John Kuma story tonight? We're going to give you some details about how the whole thing happened. We're going to begin the conversation also telling you about the discussing the difficulties with how when something happens to politicians, some of our other politicians or the political class wants to take advantage of it and make political advantage of it. We are in an election year, and I'll go back to 2008, and you will see that in 2008 there was a similar episode. Something happened to a member of parliament in 2008. It was run as a campaign against the side of the member of parliament that he is in. And now they are talking about poisoning, and John Kuma was poisoned, and some people are poisoned, and Captain Smart even knows the other people who are going to die from poison. He's mentioning people's names, that Napo is the next, and all of those things that are being spewed out in the media. It's difficult. And it's complicated because the media are supposed to be synthesizing. They are supposed to be the synthesis for the society, not to be adding to the speculation and all the things that don't aid the mental development of a society. Media should not be adding that kind of narrative. That kind of narrative can be a thesis, it can be an antithesis. What the media do is that they synthesize. Here we are, that we have a journalist who is now quarreling on the loggerheads with a widow. We can't have that. We can't do that. Media is not for that purpose. Media can support a worthy cause. And media who supports these kind of causes that are not worthy, that you're trying to trump up and bring up a poisoning matter to indicate that it is part of the ethos of a certain political group in an election year. That cannot be politics. And some politicians add to it, they sort of engender it to happen. Tonight, we'll be dealing with that in some detail. Join us at 9:37 for that. And then later on at 9:45, we have the Honorable Brian Achampong. He's coming to the studio. He's another dear. You know that. And he's going to join us for Agric. Brian Achampong is going to talk to us about agriculture. Let me just clean the top part. The greeting is already there. Good evening, Ghana. Brian Achampong is going to talk to us about agriculture. He's talking about planting for food and jobs. And when I said I was going to interview him, some people ask me that when he comes to the studio, I should ask him about running mate, whether he's going to be running mate or not. And then later on at 10:05 tonight, we're going to give you a big interview. Now, have you also been worried about the African Cup of Nations, did I say African Cup of Nations? The All Africa Games, the 23rd All Africa Games. Have you also been hearing about it and concerned about how they say that money has been spent by the country, excess money has been spent? Well, eventually Ghana got on to hosting the games anyway. So we did host the games, and we are hosting the games right now. Sports Minister is going to join us to answer all of those questions. So Sports Minister is coming into the studio. That's the agenda after 10 o'clock. At 10:05, Sports Minister is coming to the studio to join us to talk about the All Africa Games and how much money is being spent, how much money is not being spent, what is happening in the whole All Africa Games. Is it true that 16 million was spent for the Games Village? But we'll also talk about the games. And it's delightful to see some of the photographs of the lesser known or lesser discussed sports, the indoor games, volleyball, basketball, table tennis, how people are competing. In fact, the minister will be coming to us straight from the Accra Sports Stadium, where I've seen him this evening. I was at the stadium earlier today. I saw a good attendance to the Ghana-Gambia game. By the time I was leaving the stadium for the program, Ghana were leading by 1-0. Also, it's the start of Ramadan this week. So we have a Muslim lady in the studio who is going to talk us through how Muslims should prepare for the Ramadan situation. So she's here. She'll be talking to us about that. So Brian Achampong, Sports Minister, and we also have the John Kuma story. All of that is our agenda for tonight. And I'm very passionate about the first part of the program. So viewers, do pay attention. We're going to talk about John Kuma and this whole allegations about poisoning, and somebody poisoned him because of a political appointment. We're going to look at the chronology of events, everything that has happened. And then you will see that sometimes these narratives are unhelpful. When a beautiful brother painfully has passed, this is not the time to talk about he was poisoned because he was rising in his political party and because somebody didn't want him to be running mates. What kind of story is this? What is that? Anyway, when we get to the details, I'll take you back to 2008, I told you, and show you a John Kuma example in 2008, and then we will see how these things work. History is always a great teacher. Now, though, I beg of you viewers that I have to take a short break. It's 8 minutes long, because when we come back, we're going to be on the highway. I'm not a very happy man today, because anytime you have to speak about John Kuma, it's not a pleasant narrative that you're going to give, is it? But we'll have to do that today, because we need to synthesize the space. And then later on, Brian Achampong is in the studio, and then also Sports Minister is in the studio. After the break, I'll be on the super highway. We'll be right back. This is Good Evening Ghana, and it's live. Okay, welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for your time. Now, without much ado, let me get onto the touch screen and let's get bubbly with the stuff. Now, I have PC Appeal for his photograph here because I remember him. And, who am I calling? Sorry. I have PC Appeal for his photograph here because I remember him. And it's a very serious matter, viewers. And I don't know how he's doing these days. But I can't imagine that journalists, and those of you who are listening to me who are older journalists, I think you can understand what I'm saying. We never went to Parliament without looking for PC Appeal for it because he always give you a very sensitive soundbite. In 2007 and 2008, how many years ago is that? 15, 16 years ago. PC Appeal for it was an MPP member of Parliament for the Esukuma Domi Brakwa area. And he was very critical of President Kufuor. He made so many allegations against President Kufuor's administration. It was later found that the allegations against him that because he was not a minister, or Kufuor didn't make him a minister, he was somehow unhappy with the situation. But really, what happened with PC Appeal for it was that he was always talking about allegations of corruption, and he made himself into a sort of vigilante in Parliament. So every journalist wanted to talk to him. Today, we don't look for PC Appeal for it again. But I remember him on this matter. One early morning in 2008, PC Appeal for it was heard on radio. I'm thinking it's probably City FM or Joy FM, something like that. And I was listening to him early in the morning. I can't remember where I heard. And he was lamenting. And he was saying that I heard the news. And I was hoping that it would be an NDC member of Parliament. But eventually when the story came, it was an MPP member of Parliament. And I'm so sad because the NDC are going to say that that is how we are. So I started calling everybody. I was calling everybody that morning. That what is happening? What has been? The story was that the Honorable Adom-Otchere had been found in America guilty of complicity with drug trafficking. Honorable Adom-Otchere was an MPP member of Parliament. This story was found by the opposition of the day and created a narrative that MPP people are cocaine people. And it worked in 2008 election. It did. But this is the point we've come back to in 2024. And they are trying to fund some poisoning situation. So they now say they change the MPP's name into something poison party. And they use surrogates as journalists and everybody. A journalist can be a surrogate for anything, but be a surrogate for a worthy cause. You can be a surrogate for free SHS as a journalist. You can be a surrogate for one district, one factory, popularizing as a journalist, but don't be a surrogate for something that you know that is unworthy, something you know is untrue, something you know has been planned for the purpose of electoral gain. That's almost evil. When you know that you're cooking something about somebody's personal life, and you know that this story, this narrative, is just for electoral gain. Okay, let's get to the story. Peace appeal for a good evening. I hope you're well, wherever you are. Let's get to the John Kuma story, and then you understand what I'm talking about as we roll the story up. Okay, they're going to put the first slide of the John Kuma, and then I'll go through the slides. So we're looking at the actual story, what happened. And yesterday, John Kuma's wife had been interviewed on Asase Radio. We're going to put out some of that information of what she said. She was very critical of two individuals, Captain Smart, Nigel Gazy, and okay, give me the photograph of all of them, and let me start from there. Here they are. So these are the protagonists we're talking about tonight. This is Mrs. John Kuma Lillian, the widow of John Kuma. We're really sorry about Madam. Please have our condolences, and we believe that all the constituents in Ejoso and Fumeso and Kwamo and Jache and Tikrum are all with you in this very difficult moment. Rest in peace, Honorable John Kuma. I can't believe that I'm standing here looking at John Kuma's photograph and saying rest in peace to him. I just can't believe it. This is God's brain Smart, who has been talking about allegations that Mr. Kuma had been deliberately poisoned, and that is what is happening. And Mr. Smart had even taken issue with the widow for saying that she was going to report him to the police for saying that. Nigel Gazy is also being called out by the widow as being someone who actually knows the couple very, very well, and being someone who was aware that Mr. Kuma was unwell and had prophesied with information that he was aware about. That's the allegation that Mrs. Kuma is sharing with us. But let's get on with the story and see where the rest occur. So this is the trajectory, the dates, the story. We've put the story out in the dates in which the things have occurred. And so here it is. So you can see it with me, viewers. Now, autopsy conducted on 8th of March revealed the following. 1, that Honorable John Kuma passed from multiple myeloma. We're going to understand what that means. If it is poison, we will know. If it's not poison, we will know. Whatever it is, we're going to know it on the screen right now in a minute. Number 2, he was diagnosed of this multiple myeloma in early 2023. Viewers, I think you can see that that's very clear. He was diagnosed in early 2023. So we should get on with all of these issues. He was undergoing treatment at the University Hospital of Erlangen in Germany. That's where he was undergoing treatment, having been diagnosed in early 2023. If you look at our third point, Mr. John Kumah was undergoing treatment. So having been diagnosed, treatment had already started. And number 4, this even led the condition actually led, for those who knew him very, very well, they would have noticed that this treatment led to a fracture in his left arm. And all that occurred in 2023. The fracture in his left arm occurred in 2023. So from the data that we have covered here, from the information we have, which we have translated into this data for you, these are the 3 hospitals where Mr. Kumah was looked at and looked after. The first one is the University Hospital of Erlangen. You can Google it and see what their expertise are about the multiple myeloma as a type of blood cancer, which was diagnosed in 2023 for the Honorable John Kumah. There's another hospital here. It's a hospital in Sweden. We don't have the name. When we have it, we'll share with you. And then, so the treatment processes were, some of these cancer treatments, they come in 8, 6, 12, sometimes, if you're lucky, 2, 17, whatever. So the treatment processes after the initial diagnosis was in 6-fold. And the 6 were carried out in these 3 hospitals. We are not sure yet how many were carried out in the German hospital, how many in Sweden, and how many in Accra. But here, the Accra Health Center was one of the 3 hospitals that worked on Mr. Kumah's process. So viewers, this is the story. Where is poisoning and where is juju and where is political poisoning because somebody was looking for a position or somebody was rising as a political point? These are the facts of the matter that has happened. These are the real hard facts that any journalist who wants to look at the John Kumah story should be looking for, the real hard facts. Is that not what you look for as a journalist? The real hard facts, the incontrovertible facts, the facts that have been written by the experts, and then you can interrogate it. If the facts contradict each other, you can point out the contradictions. You can say that it's not true that John Kumah was diagnosed in 2023 because in 2021 he went for treatment here. You can raise some of those issues, but you can't ignore the facts and create your own set of facts as a journalist and publish that and turn that into a narrative. You create your own set of facts. John Kumah was poisoned. He was poisoned by this person, and this person is the next to die. And that's how you do journalism? Is that how journalism works? It cannot work like that. You cannot ignore the facts. You can interrogate the facts. But the starting point of a journalist's work is the facts. That's the starting point. The starting point of a journalist's work is not to concoct. It's not to develop new facts that are not available, that do not exist. The starting point of a journalist's work is the raw facts. And then from the facts, you can interrogate it. But you don't ignore the facts. You don't ignore all of these things. So the fact continues that he was scheduled to continue active treatment in Germany on 12th of March 2024. He requested to be discharged so as to attend the Independence Day celebration in Ghana. His condition got critical, and unfortunately, on his way to Accra for treatment, he passed on the 7th of March 2024 at Suhum in the Eastern region. And that's how John Kumah's life unfortunately ended. And as soon as John Kumah's life unfortunately, tragically and painfully ends, Smart here says he was poisoned. He knows who poisoned him. He knows who put the food in the poison. He knows where the poison was prepared. He knows who is the next to die. That's not journalism. Is that journalism? The journalist must start the story from the facts. The facts arising out of the story is what you interrogate to make your conclusion. Now let's listen to what the lady said. Or first of all, let's see what the lady here. She was very perplexed by the conversation, very perplexed by the matter, felt that her husband's name was being dragged in the mud even though he's passed. And so she made an official report to the police about the fact that she's heard that somebody on radio says that she has the information. If we don't have the police one, do we have it? Let them tell you whether we have it or not. She made a quick report to the police. They'll put it up and then we can read a little bit of that. She made a report to the police. And then she granted an interview to Asase Radio and repeated the police action that she's taking to inform the police that Mr. Smart says that he has the information, and therefore they should talk to him about it. Anyway, okay, it looks like they don't have it. They don't have it. Do they have it? If they have it, they should put it on. Let me just read it very quickly. Okay, so that's John Kuma. Do you have the statement? I wanted to read it. Yeah, but that's a photograph of the statement. Okay, if they don't have that,
Now, be in the name of journalism, cheap propaganda. I can't some way speculate. So our father, I don't know what that's to you. Anyway, ye nipa. Ebia, nenye mi kunyari ne kuno. But the also onima te krono. Momo manena. Omo tia e manipano. MP na Captain Smart Adom-Otchere me kameta na se. Pass otimi yi evidence ni yi nipa ni pie ma me anka meta na se. Eja me ni me kunu said the American na ati yare ba me na me ni na call Germany. Ebra ye ko pray. Ye me nim doctor bi anka nkyere me da. Se poison ba akumpa ko mi kunu moja mu. Ye me nim ni se yade ene ye diagnose ye. We around August. And I hear Chira Niako. Into Dr. Bia me, day one, I've been me a part of the medical team, both Germany and this place. Obien will catch me that say a poison. Me will medical reports I will have both from Germany and this country. In can poison yourself. Obian can food poison. And say I am a mama. Ye. Me dear, say na metia minim yade akumikunu enye poison me yesofo me ngina ha mpe cheap fe enfanje hwe nti ade nkumikunu me nkasa ekunu.
So that's what the lady told Asase Radio. That's what she told Asase Radio. She gave the story as we've narrated. This is what happened. So she wants to know about poisoning. And then guess what? On radio, after she spoke on radio, she's been attacked. Why is she talking on radio? She should go and be a widow. And I don't even know what has become of Ghanaians. Where is all our empathy? Is gone because an election year, there's no empathy. Everybody's callous because an election year. You tell a widow that go away, stop talking. Have you put yourself in his shoes? The point about empathy of our culture in Ghana, why we die when somebody cries, it's not so much that we know the person. It's that we put ourselves in the shoes of the family who have lost the person. That if it was you, how would you feel? That's why people cry at funerals. That's the empathy. It's a culture of our people. Where has it gone to? Because it's election year, because it's politics, because it's the radio politics. Anybody talks to the widow anyhow? Have you put yourself in? She were your sister, she were your auntie, she were your mother, she was your sister's friend. Is that how you talk to her? Because you are telling people that her husband is being poisoned, and she says, that's not the facts that are available to me. The facts available to me are not about poisoning. Listen to Captain Smart's response to her this morning. Listen to it.
He said, number one, when I was here, so terminal ailment, but your terminal ailment, you know, terminal joke when I was hired and I said, Diane, be the man in here.
Adom-Otchere.
What's that when I was here? Someone I know, Diane. Eti mami kurani wo kwa wari John Kuma no was hire no. Sam koye interview biom.
Simtras we are no be na comment.
Ana se wo wari ni wie ye no. Ena mo mienu ma kwantu onu mu no onya asayare no. Me busa wo.
Onua.
Me meti wei menya carpenter. Wo kuru ye minister, menya minister. Me yan central ni me busa kosa. Ti me busa wasem.
Onua.
And John Kuma, I am me tax in the Tuanaka.
Onia
Ghana for tax in the Tuanaka.
Yajimo
And I walk would be
Adom-Otchere.
It's it, man, yeah, men am feed you. Chop money now, who can you do? Tax home for sending the Tuanaka. Timmy Busau, whistle who can terminal ailment. Terminal illness, terminal disease, and a kuno.
Wani.
Pacha, who want to know what's higher? And I wouldn't movie.
And then I mentioned, and I'm doing I don't take shot, take madness.
That you won't worry, John Kuma.
Only
No, what's that terminal ailment?
Adom-Otchere.
And then, no, yeah, what I'll bet me at the Ghana for. Because when I was here, someone in the Titambia, baby, or Kobe account, and so Tamalani Kumase, no, can't quit now when you hobby.
Okay. Well, so viewers, you heard it. Is that the proper way for a journalist to talk to a widow, all because it's an election year? A widow says, my husband died from a terminal illness diagnosed in 2023, and then you are asking her she should come back and do an interview and tell what food he ate before he got the terminal illness. What is the meaning? Is that the media that we are happy about? Is that the media that we're happy about? Media that doesn't do critical thinking, they just peddle gossip. That's media. Anyway. You send your text to how you look at it. How you look at it, I don't know, but how you look at it, you have to look at it and decide how you look at it. And thank God we're getting quite a lot of views on social media, and we appreciate it that people want to listen to some of these things. We don't have all the answers, but we have ways and mechanisms to ventilate the issues and set up a discussion, a conversation towards nation building. Yes, it may be biased towards free SHS. Yes, it will be biased towards one district, one factory, because free SHS and one district, one factory are correct programs that we will support to the hilt. That's not politics. That's policy. That's not politics, it's policy. That's what journalism is about. But what is this? Ignore the set of facts, develop your own set of facts, and then you channel a narrative out of that because it suits a certain political party. They are happy about it, and nobody is talking about the standards that are being crucified in journalism. The standards that are being crucified in journalism this way. It's a morning show story. It's a total gossip narrative. I can't even understand it. Anyway, we are running out of time because Brian Achampong is here, sports minister is here. Let's get on with the final bit. Also, Professor Nigel Gezi came up to be called out by the lady. This is what she said.
Nigel Gezi no, the MBN say, "Otimi hunu say obi yare, onhune ma pe no, onse hu nkofo yere na ope wo mo na ni de nyame ntwa nkyere no, ohu Ghana empanyifo nsem beto won, ono ani fie na odi ma asem ama na yere fie ono ndi ohu ye, eni di ohu ye, me say, busane se de enti an church obeko bia na yapam no, baby obedru bi okofo obi yere. And you be say, I'm a woman of God. Minjina radio so any side no. Minjina yam Nigel Gezi is not a prophet, a fake man of God, a cheap liar, and a womanizer. A from obi oyi enkofo yere and odi echiri. Me amijina ombu adiempo oni ni die, and I can't challenge him anywhere. This is a painful moment, and I don't expect anybody to take unnecessary advantage of us. Bisani die na say a relationship on be ye no ano die enti na ma enne ontimi ngina ya sorry dem ho emba altar so me preach bi die enti na even Church of God obo ase the whole Ghana Kumasi ontimi nko ho bi eno na o menya nkopon ena na di na o ma ne ho ahoden a odi be gyan nkofo yere emususo ne omo ho nko na ma ne nkwa awa na so sise ya na obedi na sofodie ni dia onka hyen koduru jonkuma de wawie ni die ono no so ye sofo ye gyan ni nyina amanyame onyame ndi ni ntamasem de me wo ka kire na no kura bia anim wo ye trofo wonim se John yare and wo ya we and wo de ko hyenko. That is not prophecy, that is fakeism.
What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? Let's hear what you are saying. Fatih, what are people saying?
Paul. So this is what Dr. Banda Khalifa, MD, MPH, MBA, PhD student at Johns Hopkins found in his research surrounding the death of John Kuma. It reads, the necessity of scientific literacy of the avoidance of sensationalism are paramount in the rational interpretation of complex health narratives, particularly highlighted by the case of John Kuma's demise. The significant difference in the severity of symptoms between Wontumi, who experienced acute gastroenteritis, and Kuma, alongside the absence of toxicological evidence for deliberate poisoning, tilts the scale towards a national progression of disease rather than foul play. Further, Kuma's condition, characterized by the malignant proliferation of plasma cells in the epidemiological specifics of MM in Ghana, solidifies the scientific basis for his death scores. This case exemplifies the dire need for fostering a public discourse that values factual understanding and critical thinking over the allure speculative theories. Here are some of the facts about a study conducted in Ghana about multiple myeloma, the type of blood cancer cited as the probable cause for the ultimately death of John Kuma. First of all, the study in Ghana highlights that 29% of patients diagnosed with this condition were less than or equal to 50 years. The common symptoms at diagnosis in Ghana included bone pain, anemia, weight loss, fractures. All these symptoms were apparent in John Kuma's situation. The median survival was reported as 33 months. And what does this mean? It means that half of the patients with multiple myeloma unfortunately die within 33 months of diagnosis. And these are the questions to ponder on. Is the hypothesis of deliberate poison supported by objective evidence, such as toxicology reports or forensic findings? Can the symptoms exhibited by John Kuma be unequivocally attributed to known toxin or poison? And the answer to these questions is clearly no. Farouk Tema says, late John Kuma was a fantastic man. My personal experience with him was so touching and humbling. I pray his family are allowed to mourn his demise in peace. And lastly, coming from Junior Akbar Tamale says, in fact, it's very painful for somebody to die and some people want to use it for politics. I think we have to know that everything we are doing in this world, the Almighty Allah is watching us. Rest in peace, Honorable John Kuma. Antoinette.
So, still on the John Kuma story, Irene Mensah says, Paul, I really empathize with the reader because I have been there before. My late husband was given same diagnosis, which is the MM, and it's so painful when people read their own meanings into people's death. And lastly, Paddy Williams says, I am waiting to hear the position of the GJA and the National Media Commission on the allegations of Captain Smart's narrative with regards to the poison of John Kuma. It's just so sad. Rest well, bro. Over to you.
Okay, so we have Zaktio saying, food poisoning does not necessarily mean someone putting poison in a food. A food which is infected with bacteria or any form of fermentation that can produce any germ, that food will be classified as poisoned, and once it is eaten, there is a reaction. The doctors will term it as food poisoning, and it doesn't necessarily mean that someone has put poison in the food. Please someone tell Captain Smart for me. We have Prince Osei saying, Apostle Paul is the best journalist so far, with the best political show in this country. Kudos, Senior. And our last one coming from Kofi Eric Mafu saying, Captain Smart should be arrested by now. Seriously. Okay, that's the last comment.
Okay. We've got Joe from Esekado Ketan saying something very controversial. He says, I must tell, those who repealed the criminal libel law have done great disservice to the nation. If this law had existed, guys like Captain Smart would have been bundled into prison for defamation. Paul, to you.
Okay, thank you very much. It's 7 minutes past 10 o'clock, and the sports minister is here. He's brought us jerseys, so we'll be wearing it. But before then, we talked to the indefatigable couple, the Agric minister, Honorable Brian Achampo. Are you Minister for Security, Agric, Interior, Defense? Why do they call you couple?
Well, Paul, I don't know. Good evening.
Good evening to you. How's everything?
We're working hard.
You marshaled, I'll talk politics first before I come to Agric. You marshaled a huge walk a year and a half ago in Kwewu, around the MPP Congress time, the Unity Walk. That was significant, and you showed Dr. Baumia, Kennedy Japan. Did you know that the outcome was going to be like that?
Well, with what I said, or with
the way you organized the Unity Walk and gave a lot of prominence to Dr. Baumia and then some prominence to Kennedy Japan. Did you know the results was going to be 30, 60?
No, I think from the beginning, it was every research that I had done in my region showed that Dr. Baumia was going to be on top. I didn't know that the margin was going to be that big, but clearly, at least from the eastern region, we knew that Dr. Baumia was going to pull it. And from all the indicators across the country, it did show. Yeah.
Is she still going to pull it in December?
Well, I believe so. I'm working for the system to make that happen for him. I mean, I'm a politician, member of parliament for that matter, minister of state, by kind courtesy, the New Patriotic Party. And so I have to do everything in my power to make sure that they retain power. One, because of the policies, and two, because of the politics.
What is in this new policy, Planting for Food and Jobs 2, is that what you call it?
That's correct. It's essentially moving away from the subsidy program that we had been running for the last 7 years into an input credit system to deal with several issues. One, to solve the big problem that we have, which is a big gap of food insecurity and resilience. I think the numbers are there. I sent it to you earlier on. We realize that if we can help the farmers, they will be able to help the country.
So you are taking subsidies from them?
Well, we are giving them more, but not in the way that we used to do it. And I'll show you the numbers.
Okay, do you want to, can you put on the screen for us to look at? So before, how is it done?
So before, for example, if a farmer required 1,000 cedis worth of inputs, which is seeds and fertilizers, which constitute about 73 to 80% of what the farmer required to plant. Government will give that farmer a subsidy of up to 15%. At the peak of it was about...
So if I'm planting tomatoes and say, what do you plant tomatoes with? Cassava. Can I do tomatoes and cassava at the same time?
Yes.
So I'm doing tomatoes and cassava. What does government give me?
No, I mean, so let's focus on one crop. Let's focus on tomato or maize.
Maize. Maize is more common.
Maize, very well. So if you are planting maize, you need about 50 kg applications of fertilizer and then one urea.
Over what acres?
Over
or
an
hectares?
An acre.
An acre, okay.
And that will cost you about 2,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. But to simplify the calculations for you, let me use 1,000 Ghana cedis. If all the inputs that you require was 1,000 Ghana cedis, government will now give you a subsidy of 15%.
Cash?
No.
Fertilizer?
We'll reduce the cost of the fertilizer.
We'll reduce the cost. Okay.
Yes. So we have an input supplier, let's say called Paul Adom Fertilizer or Paul Adom Seeds. We tell you that, okay, supply to the farmers, instead of 1,000 cedis, 850 Ghana cedis. And we will give you the input.
The difference?
The difference. So that is the kind of subsidy that we were running.
Now, what does the farmer do with his with the harvested crop? Is it for him? Is it for government?
It's for him.
It's only for him?
It's for him.
He sells it to who?
Well, to the market. Anyone.
I see.
But what then happens is that most of our farmers don't have access to credit. So that 850 Ghana cedis that the farmer will have to use to purchase the fertilizer, they have to now go to unorthodox lenders.
To borrow.
And the minimum that you can get around that corner is about 50%.
So you borrow 800 cedis to pay 400.
850, exactly.
Okay, so you pay 800 plus 400.
425. Yeah. You're paying about 1,275 in the end. That will be your total cost, principal and interest. Yeah. That is with a subsidy. Okay, you're going to pay about 1,275 with the subsidy.
Okay.
Now, we are saying that, look, farmers cannot afford that. At the end of the day, they don't retain more for their effort. Okay, and they are not able to expand their farms because they have to go and borrow huge sums of money to engage in agriculture. And this is a cycle that has gone on for far too long. So we say, okay, no, don't worry about it. We are government. We're losing money because we are subsidizing the Paul Adom fertilizer at 850. Meanwhile, that same Paul Adom fertilizer, if you go to, let's say, Togo, is 1,000 Ghana cedis. If you go to Burkina, it's 1,000 Ghana cedis. If you go to Cote d'Ivoire, it's 1,000, that same brand of fertilizer. But in Ghana, it's 850. So what happens? You give the fertilizers to the farmers, and guess what? They cross the border and they make their buck. They don't even bother planting. And that is what a lot of Ghanaians were complaining about, smuggling of fertilizer and that whole...
So what you give the farmer is fertilizer?
And seeds.
You get it from the guy,
Yes.
You give it to the farmer will pay the guy some of it, you pay the rest.
Yes.
But the farmer gets his fertilizer.
Yes.
Okay.
And then some of the farmers, not all of them, will now, or the dealers in between, will now pick it at that subsidized rate and then go next door
and sell it for the real rate.
Exactly.
Make the margin.
So guess what? Who wants to do farming when I can get 15% from government and go and just sell it overnight and make my money? So we're not getting the output, which is a crop that government intends to get to feed the country. So we say, okay, don't worry about it. The farmer is suffering from all this borrowing. He's not able to expand his farm. The government is losing money. So to get around that, we said, okay, we are going to organize a private sector person called Kofi Menu to give you the seeds and the fertilizer at 1,000 Ghana cedis. Okay, we'll give it to you at
the maize seed and the fertilizer.
And the fertilizer.
Okay.
We'll give it to you at 1,000 Ghana cedis. Go and plant it. At the end of the planting season, just pay us back the same 1,000 that we have given you. Okay? And pay us back in crop. So we will come to your farm and take maize equivalent to 1,000 Ghana cedis. Okay.
So who owns that maize? The private person?
Yes, because we took somebody's seed and fertilizers and gave it to you. Somebody's machinery and gave it to you. So when we take that commodity, maize, we bring it back to the warehouse where the market queens, the aggregators, the market queens, the off-takers, which is the industry players, will all come and pick the maize from there and now bring it to market. So if you're a market queen, for example, in Accra, you don't have to go to Sisala to buy the maize and then come and add your distribution margin and all those things, which then put the cost, very high at the end. So you are told that farm gate price of maize is 200 cedis, and then in the retail it's about 500 cedis. So we are able to get the market queen to go to the aggregation center, which is in Accra, outside of in Sawam. You pick it up, you bring it to the market. We know the price range that you're going to retail it for. And then in the unlikely event that you decide that you will cheat the system, we will bring the produce to the market to compete with you, forcing you to drop your price, making sure that at least we have some stability on the food front. So
you're trying to correct the age-old deficit that we've been experiencing between the farm gate price, which is always a dispute between the Ministry of Agriculture and media. Media said, no, the plantain is selling at this. Minister says, no, the plantain is this.
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to do.
But we're correcting a lot of things in the value chain. First of all, we're correcting the credit issue that farmers don't have access to, okay, by giving them the input credit. And we are able to recover. We don't have a problem because we have taken your Ghana card, we have taken a polygon map of your farm, and we've linked it to your Ghana card. Okay, with that, we're able to zoom in on your farm and know that, look, you've done land development. We know that.
Oh, this is impressive.
Oh, yeah.
This is impressive. So sitting at your ministry in front of a computer, you can check my uncle's farm at whether he is planted.
You say you have done land development, we can see. We get twice a day image of your farm.
Two times a day?
Yes.
How many farms are you dealing with?
I mean, we are hoping to deal with about 2.5 million farmers.
Individual farmers?
2.5 million farmers.
And how many farms?
Well, so let's just peg it at 2.5.
1 to 1, yeah. So yes. 2.5 million farms.
Yeah, but
you have photo image of all of these farms.
Twice a day.
Who's going to check it?
I mean, you go to planet.com. We've gone past this technology. I mean, it's so advanced. It's not even an issue that we should be discussing.
This is the first time we're implementing it in Ghana?
Well, no, other organizations, private sector aggregators are actually implementing that. I mean, there's a company called Farmerline in Ghana. They're doing it. It's nothing new. We are just now getting in fact, the president of the Republic met the president of the CEO of Farmerline in Davos. Okay, and the CEO of planet.com in Davos, and then directed that I speak with him to employ the technology in what we're doing. So I did reach out to him, and the conversation is going well. If you look on their website, you can realize that if you want images of this building 10 times a day, they will give you that image via satellite. So we're employing that with your Ghana card, with a polygon map of your farm. We're able to know that, look, you have done the land development. When you plant the seed, we will not be able to see that on satellite, but we have extension officers and aggregators who are with you
So they will be able to go there and see that, yes, you have planted the right seed, you have applied the right fertilizer. Okay, they are with you for the 4 months of your maize crop cycle. And during the harvest, they help you harvest and they take their portion. Okay, equivalent to the 1,000 cedis that was given to you. And then you keep the rest for yourself. I mean, if you don't mind, we are happy to even buy the excess crop of you so that you don't have to bother coming to the market yourself. And we put all this together. We realize that we solve the problem of credit. We solve the problem of distribution. Okay? And then we solve the problem of the price going up and down in an equalizer form. You have a dry season where the price of maize is high because now we have stock in the warehouse that we're able to bring to the market to stabilize the price.
Is that what is happening now?
And I'll give you an example. Around this time of the year, March, you realize that previously the price of tomatoes are about double or triple around this time of the year. What we have been able to do, or what we did last year, we did what we call dry season tomato farming in the areas of Tono. We have an irrigation scheme in Tono, we have Via, we have Tamni, in the northern regions of Ghana. We did a lot of dry season tomato planting. We are harvesting now, and that is coming down south. So you realize that the price of tomatoes, though, has gone up slightly, about 2 percentage points. Previously, by now, this time of the year, the price of tomatoes is about 40%, 40% more than in the peak season. So we are trying to employ that to keep the prices of produce almost at bearable levels in the dry seasons. So look, we've tested the modules. We've looked at how it will solve all the problems that we have been talking about, including the smuggling of fertilizers and or inputs, including access to credit, including the whole modernization of agriculture by giving the farmers access to machinery that they can use to produce their crop. And Paul, we believe that if that happens, we are able to, at our fingertips.
Does all of this include cocoa farmers?
That's tree crop. That's a different policy. Okay. We are focusing on the 10 crops and poultry, what we eat now.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the things that...
So you anticipate that 2 years from now, if this is successful, we are in serious business?
Look, in 2 years from now, we will be halfway through the journey. We have given ourselves 5 years to be food self-sufficient in 10 crops and poultry. Look, for poultry...
That's achievable. 100% self-sufficient.
I mean,
or you mean 60%, 65%?
Well, I mean, we're talking about a little over 100% in some cases.
Including, you said for crops and
poultry. If you can, I sent it to you. If you can put it on the screen.
Yeah, please. Can you put the thing on the screen, Kweku, please? It's very important.
The targets. The targets. If you
the
can
targets. Yeah, is that it?
No.
No, the targets.
The PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint.
So if you.
Okay, they'll get it.
Good. If you look at poultry, Paul, today we are 5% self-sufficient. 5%.
Oh, poultry?
Yes.
Only 5%?
But that's an aggregate of all our efforts.
We are importing 95%.
But I'm saying the aggregate of all our efforts from Kwame Nkrumah to today.
5%?
Yeah. But
the demand has shot up.
But I'm saying that's real. Look, we consume about 320,000, 330,000 metric tons. We produce 15,000 metric tons. So if you want to solve that problem tomorrow, it's just not possible.
You need time.
Right. That is why we are rehabilitating 300 poultry farms. This year we are pumping about 18 million day-old chicks, seed, feed and vaccine to the rehabilitated poultry farms and the existing poultry farms to move us from 15,000 metric tons to about 42,000 metric tons. And that will just probably take us to 23%.
The demand of poultry.
Because
they should find the targets, and they should find the targets.
Because we don't have the existing, or what we call the installed capacity, all the poultry farms producing at optimum levels to be able to achieve that. So we have graduated.
Is it demand for poultry, or is it what?
And even this, I'm talking about broilers. I'm not even talking about layers. Demand for chicken.
Oh, is that significant?
Yes, demand for chicken.
We're such a high middle class society.
Well, I mean, look, we're talking about 32 million people. 324,000 metric tons is not really much. You know, people find a way to eat chicken once or twice a day. You know, so it is a big issue. If you look at our production numbers for tomatoes, onions, pepper, you realize that we have a big problem. So in 2 years, for example, we will not be able to fix all our problems. Yes. But I guarantee you in 5, with the trajectory that we have set on, we will be able to achieve that. But there are some very annoying ones, like the importation of tomatoes from our neighboring countries, onions from a desert country like Mali, Ghana, the proud red, gold green, and the black star, importing onions from Mali.
But do we have a climate to produce onions?
But I'm saying half desert, half the country is desert, the other half is at war. Yeah. You know, I mean, Burkina Faso, we know what is going on up there, and we, the proud, big talking
oasis of peace.
Well, and a country full of opinionators, as I call them. Everybody has an opinion. We are importing onion from.
Well, what's the point? What's the problem? Why are we doing that?
But I'm saying that is the aggregate of our efforts. We are not.
Is it that we are consuming too much onion, or we are not able to cultivate the onion?
We consume more tomatoes than per capita than Nigeria.
Oh, as a country?
Yeah, per capita than Nigeria. So you consume more tomatoes than the average Nigerian.
Yes.
Okay, so we consume more.
Why? Our meals have more tomatoes in it?
Yes, our diet has more tomatoes than Nigeria. Okay. But we just don't produce enough. So how do we set on a trajectory that allows our farmers to produce?
Is it also the big old question? That's what you're talking about. That's what you're looking for.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so walk us through it. So what are we seeing?
Look, if you take tomatoes, okay, tomatoes, we are producing net 345,000 metric tons, but we are consuming 1.2 million metric tons. 1.2 million metric tons. So that's 42% self-sufficiency. Tomato is 27% self-sufficient. Almighty onion. We produce 132,000, consume 314, 42,000 self-sufficient. So we
42%?
42% self-sufficient. Okay. So we want to move in 2024, okay, for tomato from 345,000 to 518,000 in 2024, 666,000 in 2025, and then progress to 1.5 million in 2028. At that point, we'll be 108% self-sufficient. So what you see on your screen, Paul, unfortunately, is the aggregate of all our efforts as a country. And this is just not sustainable. We can't be proud of this.
So Planting for Food and Jobs 1 was a failure?
It was worse than this.
Was it a failure?
But I'm saying the numbers that we had.
Oh, it was worse than this?
It was worse than this.
So it's the Planting for Food and Jobs that has brought us here?
Thanks be to God. I mean, that's a prayer when we are presec dining hall. Thanks be to God. I mean, food is ready.
You were the dining hall prefect, so you remember that more.
And now I'm a Greek minister. I have to feed
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we have not connected that.
Right.
Presec has produced a dining hall prefect who's become an Greek minister.
Exactly. So that's the aggregate of our efforts, unfortunately.
Wow.
You know, so
is it that we're not paying attention? We didn't have a policy? Wow, of course, under Fifth Equity, agriculture grew negative. And that was very shocking.
Oh, that's quite painful.
It was totally shocking. He didn't find anything wrong with that. Painful. But is it because what has happened? What was Major Koshigan doing? Well, he was touted as a great minister.
Paul, look, different leaders, and it's not about really who push blame and listen. For me, it is only just about the ministry. It's about our support to our farmers, what the donors are doing to help us, what central government itself is doing, and keeping our eyes on the ball. This is the first time that we are showing these numbers to Ghanaians and say, my guy, this is our problem. This is what we eat, this is what we produce, and to be self-sufficient, this is a trajectory.
Is there not a business enterprise that is benefiting from these shortage deficit, this huge, significant deficits you are showing in percentage between demand and supply. Is there no business interest that's benefits? And that will therefore make your work difficult to overcome that business interest, to eliminate that business interest.
Not really. Not really. I mean, they are in business interests that are happy when there's a gap.
Yes.
But Paul, when there's a gap, businessmen will exploit it. You are not producing and you have to eat. So somebody has to import. Okay, so that's just what it is. But look, when I called the tomato and onion importers, I said, we can't be doing this to Ghana. Look at the amount of money that you are putting in your sacks and taking, and they don't transfer the money to Mali to go and buy the tomatoes. They put it in their sacks, their trucks, and they take it.
On the road?
On the road.
Risky.
I called them to my office. I said, my guys, look at what you are doing to ourselves. We take our CD, we change it on the black market, we take this money across the borders and go and bring. We can't be doing that. So why don't you help us plant onions? And so the harvest,
will they make more money planting onions?
I'm saying the harvest that we are having from our irrigation schemes now is a joint effort between the ministry and the tomato transporters. We jointly agreed that we were going to do the dry season farming in the north, okay, on our various irrigation schemes. And that's the price that we are, that effort is what we are seeing on our market now. So you realize that, yes, the business people are there, but if you call them and you engage them, they will actually collaborate to solve the problem. When you present the problem to them, you realize that you have a company called GB Foods. They import Gino tomatoes to Ghana.
I know Gino tomatoes.
Exactly. Yeah. You know David Aflu?
Simple Sec. Yeah.
David is the CEO of GB Foods.
Oh, great.
Ghana.
Good.
When I didn't even know when I became minister.
Oh, so you met him?
Yes, I called.
He was in your house, wasn't he?
Yes.
Was he in Accra? You were in Accra. Yes,
yes.
He was in Accra.
So I called the Spanish ambassador. I said, Mr. Ambassador, I mean, we have all these tomatoes coming from your parent company.
The Gino Foods.
Gino Foods, you know, can we produce this in Ghana? He said, well, I'll bring the GB Foods people. I said, well, let's do that, or else they won't be importing this into the country very soon. He brought them from Spain to meet with me. We had a conversation, and they agreed that they would set up shop in Ghana. Look, all the GB Foods guys.
That's another one district, one factory.
Yeah, David Aflu and the team from Spain, from Nigeria. We had all kinds of conversations. As we speak, they've taken 10,000 acres of land in our farm plains. Okay, they've done trial on tomatoes. They are very happy with the yield. They came to see the president last week, Tuesday, and they are now coming to set up a 10,000 acre tomato farm in our farm plains and a processing plant there to produce tomato in Ghana so that it will stop the importation. So if there is a gap.
Oh, I get what you mean. So this is an example of converting business interest
exactly
to merge with our policy.
Yes. So if there's a gap, like you're saying, and you don't produce, the businessman will fill it in by importing. But we are engaging those people to get them to set up shop in Ghana. There are some, in this last year, we put out about 2.5 million day-old chicks, okay, to support the Christmas. You know, this Christmas price of chicken didn't go up that much, and so is rice. Now, we pumped in about 2.5 million day-old chicks of the 4 million that we had projected. And you have all these importers now taken from the processors in Ghana. So if you go to a lot of our shops, you have, you know, Boris B, chicken, Acro, the national best women farmer is also supplying chicken. So we have those who are importing our chicken, now taken from our local producers, because Ghanaians actually like the made in Ghana chicken. And with the support of government.
There's a lot of work you're doing. So now I understand why they call you couple. So you are engaging with the tomato farmer.
Yes.
You're engaging with the truck owner. You're engaging with all the supply chain, each of them.
You have to.
Oh, that's impressive. But you need a lot of energy to do that. Because agric is broad, it's huge.
I have the energy, but you know, I didn't have the background.
So you had to do overtime.
I tell you.
But what's your background in finance?
No, you know, I'm a jack of all trades. I did some journalism.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, some small journalism at GIJ.
Okay.
Then I did my MBA, a bachelor's in accounting. Then I did an MBA. Then I did a Master of Science in Applied Intelligence. Then I did MA.
Oh, so it's applied intelligence. That's why they call you capo.
Well, I have
so you can spy on people and things like that.
Oh, let's focus on agric.
Well, and your PhD is in what?
My PhD is in information systems. So,
IT.
Yes. So
ooh, that's an interesting combination.
From Legon, yes. So nothing in agric, but it's basically common sense.
Yeah.
The way I see it,
it's more supply chain and marketing issue, isn't it?
Well, first
rather
you have
than
to understand
classic agriculture.
You have to understand the problem, identify the gap, and then come up with a solution. And that's exactly what we're doing. And we are not afraid to let Ghanaians know that this is where we are.
This is the situation, yeah.
This is the situation, and this is the plan that we are.
You are not blaming anybody, but this is the basis.
Exactly.
This is where we're starting from.
We need to eat, and we just don't have to be political about it. We just have to deal with the problem. In 5 years, we can now wave the flag.
Please get your text messages for Brian Achampong ready, and then let's ask him. But people say that now you're doing so well here. If you move and become VIP, what happens?
Nothing happens. I just want to make sure that I do well. I just want to make sure that I do well.
Yeah, but the questions that are coming are plenty about the VIP. Okay.
Paul, let's still focus.
No. Somebody says Brian is sharp. Okay, so I don't get the spelling of your name correct. Okay, let's take the text message. Sports Minister is here,
Yes.
Did we win the game? Because when I left him at the stadium, I said, did we please ask Sports Minister that if we didn't win the game, then we won't wear the jersey. But if we won the game, we're all going to change into national jersey. Okay, Fatih, should I start with shall I start with Fatih? Okay, they are now rolling camera 4 onto you. All right, it's now, I believe the camera 4 has your photograph now. Okay, so, Fatih, you can start reading the text.
All right, so this is coming from Rebu Lecture, and it says, good evening, Paul. Please kindly tell Dr. Brian Achampong to work to standardize maize selling and buying in Ghana. I mean, maize should be selling in kilos as in case of cocoa farmers rather than sacks. Farmers in the rural areas are being cheated by maize buyers, especially in Adom-Otchere and other maize-producing communities. Also, Olantuju Amuda says, Paul, please tell the minister that the program is very good. The idea of farmers is ready market. I mean, who come to buy the crop, most especially the maize? I am from Sisala, east of Upper West region of Ghana. Our maize are lying there with no buyers to buy them. What is the minister's plans in resolving that? Baba Chairman from Tamale says, Brian Achampong is one minister I admire and adore to the core. He has the charisma to marshal all forces at a very short notice. And lastly, coming from Sarah Morrison, says, good evening, Dr. Brian Achampong. We thank you very much for the good initiative. Hoping we, the youth, will have access to some of these opportunities. Some of us are ready to take up some time of these opportunities when it's time. Indeed, breaking the 8 is possible with Dr. Baumia and Honorable Brian Achampong. What are your first answers?
So people are still saying Dr. Brian Achampong is an intelligent and smart man who is results-oriented, and Justin Benzema says he prays his innovative ideas materialize to help feed the nation. Now, Isa Ibrahim Baba says, Honorable Brian Achampong has brought new energy and plans into the agric ministry. All these plans and projects will take a long time before it starts bearing fruit. It is important for the NPP to break the 8 with DNB. Good evening to Lawyer Charles Bisiu, the PC for Isika Doketan constituency. Now, Real Max B says, this is what we call a thinking government, which is performing and not the prices of kinky has gone up and all of that. The NPP government alone can think outside the box and introduce policies and programs that benefit Ghanaians. Now, Alexander Safer says, access to machinery, fertilizer, weedicides, and cost of labor is problem for entering the food crops, agricultural, and cost of day-old chicks, and feeding costs is problem for entering poultry farming. I would be glad if the minister is able to make all of these accessible. Now, James Sakum says, I started liking Brian Achampong when he gave a speech at the final rally at Kumewu. He is such a great man. Henry A.J. Trim goes on to say, man of integrity, Eastern Mayor, we are and will achieve great. Kudos to our mayor. And then lastly, Farouk Tema says, Honorable Brian Achampong's leadership at the Agricultural Ministry has been nothing but excellent.
Okay, so from Kwame say, Paul, please ask Honorable Brian Achampong if the planting for food and jobs program involves big plantations? If yes, how do religious organizations provide individuals and other groups to get involved? From Brian Benin, the agricultural revolution is here. Well done, Dr. Brian Champong. Eastern Patriots are proud of you. Last but not least, we have from Junior Tamale. I strongly believe that Honorable Brian Champong will be the best minister agreed in this country. Keep it up, Honorable Minister.
Military background. Very useful. He's a goal-getter, and I wished he was the Agric Minister from 2017. Congratulations to Honorable Brian Champong. We've also got Fabian Apia saying it's a Presec edition. Well, we've got quite a number of Odadias discussed and a few Odadias in the studio, so I guess you can say it is a Presec edition. And Vogue Enga says, my able MP, good evening from your friend Vogue Enga. Kobe says, thank you, Honorable, for all your efforts. And, okay, so Lily says, I don't know if this has been mentioned, she says, Nigeria consumes more crayfish, palm oil, and pepper, and Ghanaians consume more tomatoes per capita. Paul, to you.
Okay, somebody says that you'll be surprised to see how much snails we import from elsewhere. Okay, Honorable Minister.
Paul, I have a question though. I think about nine text messages read, not a single criticism. Or that will be given to me later.
Oh, well, the criticism is that which one are you choosing, Agric Ministry or running mate?
No, let's focus on Agric. But I think the questions are brilliant. The issue of standardization of price, I did mention that. All we're doing will ensure that at least we have, I wouldn't want to say controlled price, but at least a market price that is not being influenced by middlemen, to affect the consumer.
So long as you are closing all the gaps, I think that's significant.
Yeah, exactly. And then also ready market. I mentioned that the aggregator will now be at the farm gate with the farmer to aggregate the crop and bring it to the warehouse. Mm-hmm. And so that is what we intend to do to solve the issue of ready market. And you know, Sisala maize, and I say it everywhere.
Sisala maize.
Sisala, the maize that is produced in Sisala, in Ghana, is the best maize in the whole world.
Really?
You should. I think they should send samples for everybody. Maize in Sisala is the best maize. I don't know.
How will I sample? How will it manifest? Should I just cook it? Should I use it for
come to the ministry? We've done a sample. We've done our own testing of maize produced in Sisala, in other parts of West Africa, in the Americas, and in Europe. And you see that Sisala maize, by the nutritious value, by the taste, and everything about that. I mean, look, the World Food Program buys that maize, and they're not telling everybody.
Some guy from Ghana.
Oh yes, they set up
the World Food Program.
They have a big aggregator there. Another Odadier called what is his name? Boateng, Joe Wiki. We used to call him when he was in school.
I see.
Yes, House 6. He's aggregating massively for
American companies.
Yes, and some Ghanaian processors. Sisala produces the best maize, and we're going to harp on that opportunity and market it. In terms of youth employment, you had some statistics on the screen earlier on. If you produce an acre of maize, it's going to cost you under PFJ about 8,800 Ghana cedis. But you're going to make about 4,400 Ghana cedis, almost about 50%. You have no business to be unemployed. Okay, all you need is to find a piece of land, an acre, reach out to my district office, agric officers. They will set you up, and you are in the money. Do you understand? That's an acre. You're going to make about 4,000 Ghana cedis. We've done the math.
Per 3 months, 2 months, 4 months?
That's 4 months. So if you are making 10 acres, that's the minimum that we're encouraging. You are going to make about what? 50,000 Ghana cedis on 10 acres for a period of 4 months. And the maize is 2 crop cycles, okay, because we have 2 rainy seasons if you are not doing irrigated agriculture. So you can imagine the amount of money. If you divide it by 12, averagely, my guy, you're going to be making about 4,000 or 5,000 Ghana cedis a month. You have no business to be unemployed. And we are willing to step in. When we launched the program with youth unemployment, 300,000 people signed up on agriculture model, and they're about to take off. So we're dealing with that too. the PFG.
300,000 is a significant number.
It is. Now, for young people who want to go into agriculture, remember the president launched the program in Legon, where Ministry of Agric and Youth Employment came together to launch the Youth in Agriculture model. 300,000 people have signed up to go into the program. And we're going to use that to deal with the unemployment program, because there's real money in the cash in agriculture. And people are going to eat, so the demand is there. Now, machinery is part of the AMSEC. AMSEC, which is the agric machinery, is part of the PFJ program that we are giving to farmers.
Okay.
Finally, Masinia, is we are starting farmer registration. I think we started yesterday. Okay, we've opened a portal, which is the Ghana Agriculture and Agribusiness Platform. If you want to go into farming, go there. It's ghaap.com. ghaap.com. Go there. We want to become a farmer. Click on the button, navigate. If you are an institution, a church, cooperative, what is it? Metro TV Farmers Association, whatever you want to come together. Secondary schools.
Yeah.
Go there, register, sign up, and we will make sure that you have what you need to go into farming. The rains have started. The time to start land development is now, and that's why we are aggressive in our communication to make sure that we invite Ghanaians to go into agriculture, small or large scale. We will give you what is required so that you can make the money. I can get my produce to feed the country. We're all going to be happy.
That's a powerful one. Yeah. Muslims have started a fasting. What's your message to them?
Well, I wish them luck. I joined the fast, for Lent.
Okay.
Also,
the Lent one.
Yes.
The Catholic
one.
I
mean, we should all. This is a time for religious and health reasons. We should all join the period and lay our stomachs and say a prayer for ourselves and the country. And
so, what's your personal message for Fatih, who is here, who is fasting?
Okay, keep it up. Pray for Ghana. Pray for yourself and your family, and let us all do well. And please pray for planting for food and jobs phase 2. This is the way to go.
Whilst you are here, Brian, and before the sports minister comes, let me ask your permission to say happy birthday to Rebecca Akufo-Addo.
Oh, yes.
This is Rebecca Akufo-Addo, the First Lady of Ghana. One of the most gorgeous First Lady we've had in this Fourth Republic. Yeah, that's how Akufo-Addo refers to her. My beautiful Rebecca. Yeah, that's... happy birthday, First Lady. Happy birthday. Okay, so Brian will take leave of us now, and the sports minister will join us after. We have a short montage. Julius Malema has a message for Ghanaian voters.
You are a former president. Will still pay you pensions and give you protection and take care of you as long as you respect those who came after you. You have to ensure that democracy matures in such a manner in Africa, where the previous president does not make it his business to fight the current president. You must allow the new to lead with all their faults because you are the same. It doesn't mean you are perfect. The young ones who are coming after you will challenge the current one. No African leader who is on retirement should lead from the grave. They must all be like all other progressive former presidents who are statesmen at home waiting for courtesy visits and consultation and attending to honor state functions. Those are the duties of former presidents, because Africa must be stable. Africa must go through democracy at all times. And elections in Africa should never mean the blood on the floor. We Africans must hate seeing our own blood.
Okay, I'm just taking 2 minutes of the sports minister's time. He's about to come in, but Mojan Lawa is here. She's going to tell us about the Islamic fasting. How should people prepare themselves for the fast, and how should they help themselves going through 30 days of a difficult time seeking the face of Allah? So tell us, Mojan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. That's right. Okay, thank you for having me. Actually, fasting, as we all know, from both Islamic and the Christian side, it's a spiritual discipline. So I think from the Islamic perspective, it's a month for us to rekindle ourselves towards our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He has given us this month, that is the 9th month on the Islamic calendar, to be spiritual benefits to us. So then before Ramadan, we have Rajab and Shaban. So between these two, month before the Ramadan, the month towards our preparation towards the real month itself called Ramadan. Because we have these 2 months, they are fasting, you have to do optional. It has to be optional just to prepare you towards the obligatory month that is your Ramadan. So then that is how we prepare ourselves towards the fasting month called Ramadan. So actually in a nutshell, to say fasting is the spiritual discipline, and we all know when we fast, we restore our system from a lot of things, some sickness.
What food should we eat in the morning?
Actually, you're really taking me to somebody's profession, right? A dietitian to do this better. But as a researcher and a student, I think we need to, as an individual, you need to know yourself better and the kind of food you eat, especially at dawn, because we eat for duration of time before we break the fast. So you have to really know the right food to eat at dawn, which is very important.
Should I eat something heavy that takes me throughout the day so I'm not hungry?
No, absolutely. I would say it's relatively. You should know yourself. Somebody might take an heavy food and it would work for her or him, but others may be.
Should I take food that will make me full for a longer part of the 6 hours?
It has
12
to
hours?
be exactly. But then.
So fufu is better than rice.
No, that is optional. I can't say it should be still really relatively. Somebody
so
can
I can eat at 5:45.
You mean starting the fast?
Yeah, I mean start the fast at 6, isn't it?
No. At dawn.
Oh, dawn 5.
Yeah, no 4:30.
Fasting starts at 4:30.
Absolutely,
I thought it starts at 6.
No, it doesn't. It goes with the let's go a bit.
Or as the accounts call it, chiriwia. So as the sun breaks out, you should have started fasting.
Exactly, like when the sun is at dawn. Let's just use.
So by
dawn.
6, you should have been an hour into the fast.
Yeah.
So I can't eat at 5:45.
No. I think
small
we break.
Small tea and
No.
tea bread.
Your fasting is working. We have to start by 4:13. We have to stop eating. So
4:30,
by 5,
stop eating.
Yes.
But what time will you wake up to stop eating?
Of course, others even wake up at 2, 3:30. I usually will wake up at 4.
But if you wake up at 4, you have only 30 minutes.
Yeah, because I can't eat heavy food. So sometimes I just would have to take tea. Usually it's even tea for me. Because as I said...
Tea and bread.
No, just tea will be okay for me. That is me.
What about fried eggs like omelette? Do you add omelette?
No, I can't take it. I'm just being subjective here. That is me. But somebody
And then when you're ending the fast?
Yeah.
When you're ending the fast?
That is breaking the fast?
Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, that one you have the liberty to take all kinds of food you can. But usually starting the fast is very important because you have the duration. And it shouldn't be just eating. During this time, you have to worship Allah, devotion, in all kinds of ways you can do it better because we have various ways of worship. So if you take a food that would not take you that long or will give you this uncomfortable space, of course, at that limit point, you can't do your worship. Because, of course, as I said, it's a spiritual...
Can you drink water during the day?
No. It's... Okay, let me define fast in our Islamic. It's abstaining from the basic psychological needs.
Psychological?
Exactly. Yes, psychological needs, basic. Our food, sexual desire, drinks. That is what it is. For a period of time before breaking it, that is what we call the iftar. So, of course, you are out of taking nothing. To the even extent, depriving yourself from sexual intercourse, even if you're married, for that period of time is very important. Because that desire at that moment is for your Creator. You're giving it to Him to earn something, of course. So it's basically a spiritual
I was going to say
benefit.
something, but we're in the spiritual season, so let me leave it here.
No, you have to leave it. We are in the spiritual
Let's take Sports Minister next, and the All Africa Games is going on. Later tonight, Infantsman is still coming on Good Evening Ghana. Let's go to Shosholoza and see what the South Africans have to say about our presidential election. After that,
Because
Minister for Sports is here.
Former president.
Oh, okay. Yes. So let's set up.
Thank you.
Let's. Honorable Sports Minister, good evening.
Good evening, Paul.
Sorry to have taken your time. I left you at the stadium when we were 1-0 up. What happened?
In fact, we won 3-1.
I see.
The Satellites played very good football this evening, and they played against Gambia, and we won 3-1. The Black Princesses also won in Cape Coast 2-1.
So we've qualified for what? The semi-finals?
The next stage.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So Ghana will definitely, both the men and the women will definitely go to the next stage.
Okay, so we are playing the football at the Accra Sports Stadium, the men's football.
Yeah, the men's football, we are playing both at the Accra Sports Stadium and Legon Sports Stadium. The Legon Sports Stadium was for Ghana, that's the Ghana's venue. But because of the opening ceremony, we needed to still recover the pitch. Okay. So the next game will be playing at the Legon Sports Stadium.
So the Accra Stadium pitch is okay now?
Yes, excellent.
From the December crisis that we had?
Yes.
It's perfect.
We have recovered
I saw it this evening.
Yeah, we have recovered it so fast, and so the pitch is...
So it's good for football, international standard.
Currently, that's where all the football is being.
So if we have a Black Stars friendly game, we can play there?
Yeah, of course, we can play there.
I see. How are the games going?
So far, I'm very excited that the games have taken off very well. We have a very spectacular opening ceremony. His Excellency, the President of the Republic, was there, graciously graced the occasion. We have the chairperson for the AU Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki, also gracing the occasion. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, was there. And we had ministers of state, the defense ministers there, and the AU Commissioner for Health, Social Affairs also was there, and the technical committee for the AU for the African Games were there. All the confederation heads for all the sports school that is being competed for, they were all there. And so far, table tennis, we are done with it.
We have a winner. We have gold.
Unfortunately, Ghana do not get a medal in table tennis.
Oh,
but
who won the gold? Men's table tennis.
The Egyptians. When it comes to table tennis, the Egyptians were excellent, and Nigeria too did well, the female side. But we also have done with wrestling. Wrestling too. We have concluded wrestling yesterday. Weightlifting is currently ongoing. We won good medal.
Where is swimming happening?
Swimming is happening at the Botsman Sports Complex, the aquatic center, the biggest aquatic center now we have in Africa.
It's at Botsman.
It's at Botsman, where we have 10-lane competition pool, a 10-lane warm-up pool, and the swimming is currently ongoing over there. And
Wow.
luckily for us, we have gotten 1 silver and also 1 bronze in swimming.
Okay, so many people commended you for the opening ceremony using Ghanaian artists with a very high standards, the Shatawale event. One negative thing though was social media showed a video of lights off in one of Ghana's games. Later we heard it was an AI video. What was that? Why did the lights go off?
It's unfortunate that we have to experience the power outage during the games between the Black Princesses and their counterparts. But for the information of the public, the local organizing committee and the ministry engage all the stakeholders. That's ECG, Ghana Water Company, and also the security agencies, and also the ambulance services. All these stakeholders have been engaged, and they gave us a firm assurance that they will be there for us during the game. So it was unfortunate that the light went off because we were told
But
that.
how long did it take? Was it a minute? 2 minutes?
Just about 2 minutes.
So the game stopped?
Yeah, the game stopped and when the lights came on. So they were just about to put on because
But was somebody in the penalty area about to score when the lights went off?
We were assured that we are going to be put on special lines by the ACG. We said, let's play the game on the mostly when we are going to play high international football game, we use our genset because we don't want any problem. But here is the case, we have a lot of competitions ongoing, and we cannot be having genset in all the games venues. So we sat with ECG for them to know the schedule so that they will be able to prepare for us. But unfortunately, that incident happened.
Okay, let's come now to the cost of the event. By the way, this is beautiful. This is the games one. You have the yellow one. You have the white one. This is the yellow one, viewers. You can see it. This is really the gold, the jersey the Black Stars were wearing when we were young.
Yes.
It wasn't yellow, it's gold. This is what is supposed to be in Ghana's flag. It's red, gold, green, but we have turned the flag to red, yellow, and green. This is not yellow, this is gold. This is the jersey that Ghana should be wearing. Very, very beautiful. And the Black Stars used to wear this with black shorts. You see Abedi Pele's photographs in the African Cup of Nations 1992. This is what they wore, gold. It's not yellow, it's gold. Who get there? Red, gold, and green. It's not yellow, it's gold. Like Ashanti Gold Fields, the jersey they used to wear. It's gold color. The cost of the project, the processes, has become a big issue, especially the Games Village, which is the 16 million. Can you take us through it?
In fact, Paul, when it comes to a major tournament like the African Games, Olympic Games, and Commonwealth Games, there is always huge burden on host nations. Mm-hmm. Host nations have to provide most of the
What are we watching now? This is the Games Village at the University of Ghana.
Yeah, so this is the Games Village.
That's the University of Ghana Stadium.
Yeah, the Games Village.
I can see 2 sorts of stadia there, all at the University of Ghana.
So that is where I was going to. Yeah, there are 2 facilities. So this is the warm-up facility. So when it comes to African Games and the Commonwealth Games or Olympic Games, every facility that you construct or you develop, you need to have a warm-up. You need to have another facility.
A similar one. For the purpose of training.
So this one, unlike AFCON or when it comes to football, you just need
the stadium. That's where they will train.
But this one, you have to develop a warm-up track.
Let's start again. Let's get that video track, again.
Which is also certified by the World Athletic Body. Also, we have football field also for training. So in the evening now, our national team is only in town.
Please pause it when we have the 2 stadia so that he can explain. So this is the Games Village at Lagos.
So these 2.
Okay, pause it around here. Yeah.
So these 2 facilities, the first one on my far left is the warm-up.
So that was created or it was already there?
No, it was created. This is a new facility with
near the Lagos Stadium.
Just 5. The requirement for the games is that it should be 5 meters away from the main bowl.
So where have you put that? Which part of Lagos is that?
It's just close to the runabout area, just close to the stadium, 5 meters.
Where they used to call Abedi Pele's Park? Maybe that's
not that part.
So, okay, but you don't have any audience seats in the second one.
Yeah, so the first, that is for warm up. So normally you don't have to have audience.
Is it for training or warm up?
Warm up and training. Is the warm up.
So they don't train where they are coming to do the competition.
They can train there, but when they are just about to start, they need to train there. It's the same thing. Train there before they get.
So like 2 hours before the race.
Yeah, not necessarily, about 30 minutes.
Also, 30 before they are all there at that side.
They are all there.
That's why it needs to be that close.
So it should be close. They will warm up. So there is a tunnel that we have done in between the 2 facilities where the athletes will walk through and then go and compete.
Oh, a terminal.
Yes,
so there's no road. You don't do road. You don't do this in a car.
There is a terminal, a covered terminal for security and safety.
So they warm up and then walk.
They walk through and go through.
So what are we going to use that for after the tournament?
So it will now serve as a training facility for athletes and also our footballers. So in the evening, the national team, for example, can decide we can then let them go there to be trained in the evening. There is floor lights, huge giant floor lights
at the international warm-up side.
Yes. So then you come to the main boat.
So this is the warm-up side?
Yeah, this is the warm-up side.
Please pause it, hold it.
So the tracks...
I wanted the warm-up held, but anyway.
The tracks at the warm-up, both the warm-up, the tracks at the warm-up and the main bowl are all certified by the World Athletics. So the timing that you are going to get on this track is going to be recognized by the World Athletics Association.
Oh, so that's what we hear sometimes. Even way back, Carl Lewis or Ben Johnson warm-up time was 9.7. So yes. Analysts are expecting that he'll be able to do well in the race. Yeah. Oh, I see. You can record that time.
So the timing for both the warm-up and the competition pool are all going to be recognized, especially when you do any time on the competition day. The timing is going to be recognized by the World Athletics. Unlike when you have tracks in our other facilities that we used to have, they are not certified by the
So if somebody ran at the warm-up for this African, All-Africa Games?
No, the competition pool. The competition tracks.
Yes, if he runs there during the warm-up and does the 100 meters at 9.5 seconds, it will be recognized as the fastest 100-meter time right now in the world.
So when we are competing at the competition track, and any time that you get, it is recognized by the World Athletic Association.
So if somebody runs 9.5 at
the whole world will be recognized. The time
it will become the fastest 100-meter record
in the world. Yeah.
I see.
Yes, that's so now it then gives a lot of opportunity to our athletes so that their timing that they will get there can then be recognized for them to get more opportunities in terms of scholarships and other things.
Yes. Okay.
You know, currently we have a lot of athletes.
Okay, so the facilities there are reliable.
They are very reliable.
So if you're a University of Ghana student,
not necessarily even only University of Ghana students.
Anybody. You're an athlete. You keep running.
The Ghana Athletics.
Kumasi or something. You can come and do your run there and see that I did 10.04.
Yes.
And it will be recognized because of where you have done it.
Where you have done it.
So the Games Village is the problem. They said you spent 16 million on it. What is it about?
So the Games Village, we have these.
If you have videos, please look for it.
We have these 4 halls at the Games Village, and the Games Village, per the requirements, it's already existing facility there, but per the requirements of the games, you needed to install, number one, or certain standard, and you need to have both warm and cold water, and also you need to have air conditions in all the almost 2,000 rooms that we have there. The doors for the Games Village, the facilities were already not in good shape.
The doors
to the rooms were not in good shape. So the contractor was supposed to make sure that he replaces all the doors. Apart from that, he's supposed to...
Is that the Games Village?
Yeah, that's the Games Village.
These are the 4 halls?
The 4 halls. Apart from that, the contractor was supposed to put in beds and mattresses for the athletes and their officials who are going to be housed there. Then also there should be security fence for the athletes. The contractor was also supposed to put in the restaurant and kitchen, and also medical dome for the athletes who are going to be there. So unlike AFCON, where you are going to put the athletes in hotels, when it comes to Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, or African Games, there is a game village, because the concept is to bring all the nations together so that it can bring national cohesion among nations. There should be unity and friendship among these athletes. And that's why we normally will keep all of them in a games village. So the concept of the game village, you need to meet certain standards. And those standards, the contractor needed, because these facilities don't have air conditioning, the contractor needed to make sure that they chisel and make sure that they wire, to make sure that all these facilities are in there. And it's a
what
huge...
What is the University going to do with that after? So if that was my rule...
Also to, and most of the roofs of the facilities too were in bad shape. Mm-hmm. The contractor was supposed to make sure that all this, they make sure that there is no any leakages anywhere. Aside that, also they paint both interior and exterior. They have to paint it to meet very attractive for the athletes to be there. So the landscaping, there is a huge landscaping in all the courtyards, and also that the contractor was supposed to do. there is a huge scope. And this contract, they are saying, went through a value for money audit. It's an EPC contract. It's an EPC contract that's engineering, procurement, and construction. And once it's submitted, it has to go through certain process. It will go to get executive approval or cabinet approval. Then it will go to parliamentary approval. Then after you have done parliamentary approval, it's subject to value for money audit. And in this case, the value for money audit was done by PwC. PricewaterhouseCoopers. And so they did the value for money then before the contract, and they also then go to PPA, and PPA will then approve before the contract is signed. So there's a very critical.
So the checks and balances have occurred.
And
they didn't think that 16 million was too much.
Yes, because of the scope.
Can't 16 million build a new?
In fact,
those hostels
there were options of we getting new facility, and at that time the estimate that we got was over $160 million. To build new facilities to be able to accommodate the over 5,000 athletes.
Which the University of Ghana will inherit after.
Yes, if we had the money. But we needed also to be very mindful.
But now what you've done, put air conditions there. If that's a student's room and he comes to school in September, what's he going to do?
We have upgraded the facility, and the University of Ghana, the whole university facilities have been upgraded. And this is going to be the University Authority and the students are going to now have very upgraded facilities for the students. And the university is very gracious. They are very, very happy for the facilities that we are putting there.
But then how many students, or how many of their 30,000 students can fit in that? Only a few. Will they be able to pay the electricity bill?
Yes.
Or the university can separate those facilities, fact, don't keep it for students anymore,
make it for
lectures and international lectures?
There was the option of we finishing and also taking it off. But the university said no, they will need those facilities inside so that the facilities will be upgraded, because now they have international students coming, and most of the students are ready to be able to use this place.
To pay?
To pay, yes.
Wow. So in there they have the showers, the bathrooms in there have hot and cold water. Then they have air conditioning. The doors have been changed. The mattresses have been changed. How many individual rooms did you create for the Games Village? Individual rooms, we have 2,000. That is able to accommodate almost 7,000 athletes. For 2 in a room?
For 3 or 4 in a room.
Oh, I see. Yeah. The room can be 3 or 4?
Yes, 4.
With 1 bathroom?
Yes.
I see. So you are confident that in this 16 million matter, the Ghanaian taxpayer has not been cheated?
Yeah, because we have gone through, I'm not an expert in construction, but I believe that the processes that we have gone through, having consultants, having PwC going through, making sure that value for money audit is done, making sure that it has gone through parliamentary scrutiny, where you have experts on various committees that have done those scrutiny. I believe that there is no any cause for alarm.
I see. We are grateful to that. We'll work more on this one. Tomorrow we'll go to the Games Village and go and ascertain for ourselves what you are talking about. On Thursday we'll show it here.
Then also, Paul, if you go to the sports facilities that we have developed at the Botima side, you'll be amazed.
You have Botima video, please show it.
You'll be amazed about what we have done at Botima. And the plan is to position the Accra as the sports hub. And luckily for us, the AU, my colleagues...
Yeah, so that's the Botima sports
So that's the sports complex. Luckily for us, Paul, my colleagues, ministers for sports, and the AU have now agreed at a special meeting that was held here in Accra. We have declared Accra as the African City for Sports for 2024, 2025, and 2026. Until Egypt take over to host the next African Games, Accra is going to be the African City of Sports.
So all sports will come here.
So most sporting events beyond these African Games. So this is the aquatic center. And this aquatic center is
what I will use it for after. This is massive.
This is the Olympic standard aquatic center, a 10-lane competition pool, 10-lane warm-up pool. Then you have seating for the spectators and also VVIP. You can see the VVIP sitting. Then you have a multi-purpose hall, currently where badminton took place, and we have volleyball currently ongoing, a multi-purpose hall, huge multi-purpose. We have anti-doping facilities all in there, so that doping issue, clean sports is not a major
that means our issue. Olympics team now have facilities in Ghana to prepare for the Olympic Games.
And we have Omega timing system in this.
They don't need to go anywhere to prepare for the Olympics.
Yes, the Omega timing system here. So now our team can be here to prepare for Olympics in Paris in July.
Okay, they can use it. We don't need to spend any money.
You don't need to spend any money to take them anywhere in the world to go and train, because the facility that they will go and use now is here in Ghana. Then, and it's also certified by the World Aquatic Body.
I see.
This facility have been
Do you have a
certified.
plan for maintenance? Because that's the question everybody's asking.
That is a huge question, and we have plans for it. And the initial plan is to make sure that we get reputable facility managers to take charge to ensure that all the manuals that have been given to us as employer, we ensure that we follow it religiously so that we keep the place in good shape. But the long-term legacy vision of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is to turn these facilities to a university for sports for development, where it will be the second university on the continent, apart from South Africa. And once that is done, not only Ghanaian athletes and officials will benefit, but the entire West African sub-region. They will have officials that will come here to the university to be trained. We have athletes and technical people that can come there to be trained. Then we also want to add additional facilities like more football field. In this facility, we have a football field and tracks as well. We have athletics track.
Football field in there?
Yes, we have
a full 11-11 or 7 aside?
No, 11-11. And we have a track as well. So this is the multi-purpose dome. And this dome, that's where wrestling took place. And
is it air conditioned?
Yes, there is air conditioning in most of the facilities. But we are very mindful of climate change. We set these games in green games.
Okay.
So most of the facilities we are using the natural ventilation. So they've made provision for the natural ventilation to take place, because we don't want to put in so much air conditioning that will be bringing a lot of pollution to the air. So we've been very, very mindful of climate change issues as well. So you can see this is the tennis court. We've developed 5 tennis courts, one of them covered indoor tennis court, Olympic standard as well. And the Tennis Federation is so excited about what we have put in there. And I know that you play tennis.
I do.
And after this tournament, we can then go there and start playing as well. Then aside that, we have, like I said, a track, athletic track there, also installed by Mondo, the world #1 athletics track installer. Then we have
so now we have athletics track at the Legon Stadium. We have athletics track here at Boteman. We have athletics track in Kumasi.
Yes.
We certainly should do the finals of the Olympics.
Yes.
We should have two players,
fact,
two athletes in the Olympic final of 8 people.
I've started receiving a lot of applications for championship from the Confederation, the African Confederation of the various sporting disciplines.
They want to host their championships here.
Yeah, they want to host, because now they know that Ghana have all these facilities. So it's going to drive sports tourism. These facilities that we have put in place, the legacies that we are going to get beyond these games, beyond these 3-week games, is going to be huge. People are going to come here to compete in various championships. And when they come, the benefit to our economy, because once they come here, they are going to spend money. I remember when I got appointed initially, the Moroccans gave us free opportunity for our national team to come and play over there. They gave us aircrafts for the team to fly to, but they knew that once the players come there and the officials come, they are going to spend money in their economy.
Yes,
and that's what most countries are now doing. Saudi Arabia is doing the same, where they are investing heavily in sports for sports tourism. And Ghana, that is where we are going. We are positioning Accra as the sports hub, the destination for whatever sport that you want to do. Ghana should be the gateway.
I think that's heavy. That's heavy. Let's get some text messages ready. And then, do you have some ready now? Please, Infantsman should get ready and take up the studio for the end. They should rehearse their song. They'll start with that. Okay, Fasi, what are people asking the sports minister?
All right, so Mark Prince wants to know if they produce bags for the athletes. And then coming from Ayala Millicent, he says, Boteman facility is beautiful, but please ask the minister about the maintenance plan. In fact, they should employ permanent, reliable, and committed staff to keep the facility in shape all the time. Now, Citizen Sambiant is our nation's most efficient sports minister. No controversy, no corruption. Emmanuel Donko wants to know if the minister has plans going forward. Now that we have facilities, what is the minister's plan to help groom young athletes so we can produce best athletes for the next game? And how are they going to maintain the facilities? Yada Naya says, good submission from our humble sports minister. And Odesi Gregory says, please ask the minister where we can get the jerseys for the All African Games and buy them. We want to wear it and support the nation. And lastly, coming from Junior Akbar from Tamale, he says, Humble Minister, Honorable Mustafa, keep the good work. We are very proud of you. Antoinette.
Yes, so people are still concerned about the maintenance culture of these beautiful facilities. In the likes of Flex Flyer, he says, so nice and beautiful facility, but as a Ghanaian, I get scared when I think about our maintenance culture. Same from Justin Benzema. He says, with all this huge infrastructure investment, it always baffles me to hear the NDC and its cronies say that the government has done nothing with the taxes and grants received from the World Bank and other international donors. Wow, this is impressive. Congratulations to this government. And still on the maintenance culture, Daniel Aiken says, for maintenance culture, I will suggest your maintenance guy be taken to the VRA to learn about maintenance culture. Those guys are top-notch, and their track record of running Ghana's first hydroelectric station for over 60 years is there for everyone to see, and I can vouch for them. And Ebenezer Annan is still concerned about maintenance. He says, please ask about the maintenance of these facilities. We are tired of the continuous wastage of money on such infrastructure. And Kofi Sika says, so all these developments is going on. This is serious, but no one actually talks about it. And people keep going on and on about the maintenance. So people seem very concerned about the maintenance of these facilities. And lastly, Citizen Sambian says, our nation's most efficient sport minister, no controversy. Okay. So we have news from the NIBS. Tomorrow is 13th March 2024, and the Future Ready Leadership Summit is happening. The future is here. Where is the leadership? The maiden edition of the Future Ready Leadership Summit, dubbed Reimagining Leadership in a World of Unrelenting Change, with very inspiring speakers such as Sir Sam Jonah, Dr. George Ejekum Donko, Prof. Kweku Etuahene Gima, and many distinguished speakers billed to speak on the day. The summit will come off on 13th March 2024 tomorrow at the Moving Pick Ambassador Hotel at 8 a.m. For tickets of the event, kindly contact 026-734-9147 or 0244-202-949.
Blue Jeans Energy Drink. Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested and tried. It is indeed the best. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a can, and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190, 0208 128 190, or 055 001 0000. Take it again, 055 001 0000.
We've got Junior Akbar saying, Honorable Mustafa is our own in the north. When we always see this, it keeps on giving us hope. One day we will also be there. Keep it up, Honorable Sports Minister. We're very proud of you. And Lord in London has a suggestion. He says the Sports Ministry should hand over these facilities to the armed forces because they can maintain it. Okay, and since we're talking about sports, let's also talk briefly about health with Adom-Otchere Medical. They say they're the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana with trained and experienced medical practitioners from KNUST. Combined with state-of-the-art medical equipment, every hidden ailment you have will be diagnosed with ease and treatment will be given you in no time at all. Now, we offer consultation, counseling, physiotherapy, homeopathy to treat most ailments. Now, please do note that your life is very, very precious. So secure good health with Adom-Otchere Medical. Now, our working hours are 7 a.m. through to 5 p.m., Monday through to Saturday, and on Sundays, because of church, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. And do locate us at Klangon on the Lashibia Shaman Road near the Bridge. Book an appointment with us on 0207 229 505 or 0244 227 192. And of course, it's always with Adom-Otchere Medical. God is the healer. I'm hearing that there are some other messages coming from one of the editors. So let's go to them.
Okay, that's about it. Honorable Minister, congratulations. Thank you very much. We'll be at the village center tomorrow the Games Village tomorrow to look at everything. But as you're ending, we're showing you the opening ceremony.
Paul, I just want to before I leave, use this opportunity to wish the First Lady of the Republic a happy birthday. And she's a mother. She has been a fantastic mother for all of us. And we are grateful. We wish her more prosperity and long life.
Amen, amen. I think Fati wants another shirt for her roommate, so maybe Minister should produce another shirt for her roommate. Okay, so this was the opening ceremony. When we come back to the studio, Infantiman girls will be here. Sorry, viewers, I've taken a lot of your time, and I'm happy that you're still with us. Those of you who had drifted away to bed, we'll put it on Facebook, and you can see it tomorrow. Honorable Minister, thank you. This is the opening ceremony of the Minister's 13th All Africa Games hosted in Accra.
Experience the African dream. From Savannah to the deep blue sea. Feel the heartbeat of this land so free. Nature's beauty reigns supreme. Experience the African dream. Africa, yeah. Experience the African dream. Experience the African dream. Beautiful, rich in every way. From the east to the west, north to the south, all around this beautiful land. Africa fair, experience the African dream. So let us embrace this sacred place with open heart and a sense of grace. Experience the African dream so divine. Forever in our hearts and minds. So let us embrace this sacred place, with open hearts and a sense of praise. Experience the African dream so divine. Forever in our hearts and minds. Oh yeah, Africa, yeah.
Osle, Obrumankume. Osle, Obrumankume. Obrumankumo da prejane. Obrumankumo da prejane. Osle chinyabwa. Boy, fancy man girl secondary school fwe. Boy, fancy man girl secondary school free. Yan buta yezi wo yan disia bianye den. Yan buta yezi wo yan disia bianye den. Obranyi wara bombo. Obra pasu jora kwan ampa. Obranyi wara bo. Yeriko. Obranyi wara bo. Obranyi warabo ufititi odumankumo. Obranyi warabo teyo.
Okay, are we done?
Yes.
Okay, round of applause for Infantiman. Okay, Infantiman. So, happy anniversary and welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Which year group is doing this?
So it's 1999 year group, the last of the 90s. We are hosting the speech day this year.
Oh, I like that one, the last of the 90s.
Yes.
At the weekend in Cape Coast, it happened the last of the 90s date. So this is 99 year group.
Yes.
What's the theme for the celebration?
So it's the theme is.
No, you go on, talk.
The theme is
the role
of the parents as teachers in meeting the educational demands of the 21st century.
The role of, say that again, please.
The role of the parents as teachers,
Yes.
as teachers in meeting the educational demands of the 21st century.
The role of the parents as a teacher.
As the first teacher.
As the first teacher.
Yes.
In meeting the educational demands of the child. That's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. How did you come up with such a theme?
Because charity begins at home. So as kids are in the house, we expect the parent to create safe environment for the kids to be able to learn, encourage them to learn, have a set up time for them. Now in this modern world, children are using a lot of computers, their phones. So you should have a time set for them that, look, if it's after 5 o'clock, you can't use your phone, you have to do your homework. So, helping in this way, it also helps your child and the teachers. So they prepare at home, then they will go to the school, then at least they have time to learn and do their homework as well.
I think that's very impressive. Who's the special guest of honor?
The special guest of honor is Honorable Esla Usu, Minister of Communication and Digitalization. She's a Morgan, a 1981 year group.
I see. She's an old girl.
Yes.
Okay, now let's go to the big question that you have to compete with other schools, the high-profile people that the school has produced.
So we have Gifty. We have Gifty Auntie.
Gifty Auntie, the broadcaster.
Yes. Yeah. So and also we have the first female physician of the country who also went to Infantiman Girls Secondary School. We have Yvonne
Okoro, Nadia Buhari.
Yvonne Okoro, the actress?
Yes, the actress. And then we have the present second lady and the previous second lady. And we also have...
Previous second lady, Matilda Emisata?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have Geraldine Abedu, Dr. Geraldine Abedu. She's the board chair for Hollard Ghana, Hollard Life Insurance Ghana. And then we have Dr. Dixon, Erica Dixon. She's also a doctor at 37. And then we have a lot of them. We can't mention all. I don't think you have the time.
What is the program of activities for the event?
So on Thursday, we're having the homecoming. So we'll be going to the school to, engage with the children.
So you're going to Salt Pond?
Yes, please. So we're going to Salt Pond. We're going to have candlelight procession in the evening. Then on Friday, we're having a career guidance, which I'm the speaker, just to, motivate the children. And also in the afternoon, we have our famous cassava party.
What's that? Tell us about it.
Oh, that every side girl loves it. So we used to have cassava meal as on
lunch.
Lunch.
On Saturdays?
Saturday and is it Friday? Visiting time. Yeah. So it was Friday or Saturday, and we never missed it with contemporary stew.
Cassava and contemporary, cooked cassava?
Yes.
And contemporary stew?
Ampese.
Or garden leaf stew?
Yes.
Yes.
That has to be very good cassava then.
it is actually. It competes with yam.
Yeah. So it was one of our.
So you repeat that on these events?
Yes.
The homecoming events?
Yes.
Who's going to make the cassava? The same pantry or how?
Yes, the school pantry.
The school pantry, they are providing it.
I
so
see.
We're gonna have nice more with the ladies. Then in the evening we have our 90s jam. So we'll be having Caroline Simpson with us, with the 2 entertainment prefect, 99 entertainment prefect.
She'll be the DJ.
She'll be working with myself. I was the 99 entertainment prefect, and then
Congrats.
So we'll be having that. Then Saturday is the big one. It's our speech and prize giving day. So it's going to be fun. And Sunday we're going to have our church service.
So we should all come to Salt Pond?
Yes.
Everybody is invited. We're having dinner on Saturday after the speech and prize giving day as well. So we are inviting everyone to come along.
And sponsors for the program. Okay. Let's talk about the sponsors.
We have MTN, Trillium Industries, and then we have Stanbic,
yeah. NLA.
Oh, NLA as well?
Yes.
So which year group is she, my social media editor?
just recently, just 2019.
2019?
Yeah.
So that's, you finished 10 years after the 99-year group. So shouldn't they be handing over the baton like we do at Presec, hand over to 10 years ago or something like that?
So we're handing over to the 2000s.
So that's the next year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the 2000 will be hosting next
year's speech day.
Yeah.
I see. And 99 is what, how many years ago?
25 years.
Oh, so you do 25 years after school?
After school.
Okay. So what attire are you going to wear? Are you going to wear the purple she's wearing or the white that you are wearing?
So we have, every year we have our own kente. So 99 we have our nice special kentes, purple and white, mauve. It's mauve and white and a bit of yellow in it, gold, because 99 is gold. So we have a bit of gold in it. And we have our t-shirts that will be wearing on Friday for the gym class with the kids. So it's going to be, it's all planned out nicely.
So can the girls come with their husbands? That's how you do it?
Yes, if they can handle it.
Yeah.
If the husbands can handle it?
Yes.
Okay, and some of their older children who are teenagers?
Yes.
They bring them along?
Yes.
What about those who are not married, their boyfriends, they can come with them?
Oh, yes. There will be a lot of single ladies to grab, so.
And some can come with their ex-boyfriend? All right, what's your final word to all man-sized people who are listening?
Yes, as National Executive Committee, we are encouraging all Mogans to support our library project. It's our flagship project, and it's been in the works for the past 4 years. And we want to finish this year, so we are encouraging all Mogans to come to the speech day to see where we have reached. And then we want to finish by the end of this year. So when they see what we have done so far, they'll be encouraged to also support us. And they should also come because it will be a lot of fun.
I see. Okay, all right. So all roads lead to Saltpond, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you give us the anthem for the last time and then we call it a wrap?
Demiti muma boy Obrenyi warabo prom te ho mawoda. Obrenyi warabo teyo. Obrenyi warabo prom te ho mawoda. Obrenyi warabo onyateyo. Obreya.
All right, that's it for Good Evening Ghana. Tonight is past 11:30. It's always a pleasure to have you around for that long. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow is another day. It's a working day. Good night.